Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Rick and Matt with the Week 12 review, Week 13 preview. Want to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving this week. Doing this on a Tuesday, so we're a little early this week, but this past week was very interesting. Again, league dues, I'm sick of saying it, so just get me your money as soon as you can. That'd be fantastic. So getting back to this interesting week, let's just get right to these games. And then we'll talk about your RG3 issue in a little bit. But looking at these games from last week, first game up is my game. I got high score for the week. It's pretty much just Brady and Moreno.
Demolishing.
It was, yeah, I mean, fresh legs got. Terrence Williams had
86-point win?
Yeah. Terrence Williams had one catch, but no touchdowns.
Oh, that really screwed him.
And then Ridley with the 4 carries.
The fumble.
The
He fumbled
fumble
again. They killed him.
And they took him out of the game, and that was pretty much it. But Tom Brady's back. He's got over 40 points in 2 out of his last 3, so he's back, and I'm loving that.
Yeah, it's like when Gronk came back. Brady came a whole new quarterback when Gronk came back.
How about that?
Yeah.
How about that? But Brady and Moreno carry me this week.
Perfect timing for a playoff run.
Oh, perfect timing for a playoff run. But looking at Fresh Legs here, Fresh Legs got some issues. Hakeem Nicks, I read today, got benched. He could have played through the injury, but he had a couple bad practices. So now, Fresh Legs has some decisions to make here. Terrence Williams now has Miles Austin in front of him.
Right.
And I also read a report that Darren McFadden might be back this week. So there goes his Rashad Jennings.
Yeah, but I mean, as well as Rashad Jennings is playing, though, I read that McFadden might not be the future back. They might stick with Jennings.
Right.
But it'll still eat into his carries.
Right, exactly. You got to think it kind of hurts Fresh Legs down the stretch here.
Right.
It's possible he gets Crabtree back this week, but a lot of decisions here for Fresh Legs. This is the 3rd time I beat Drew Brees this season.
Yeah.
I played him twice against Hammer Down and once with Fresh Legs and beat him all 3 times. I don't know how many times you could say that you beat Drew Brees in fantasy 3 times in a season. Might have to beat him 4.
Week 1, I beat Peyton, put up 77 on me, and I beat him.
So it's not impossible to beat these quarterbacks with massive point totals.
Well, let's talk about your side here. Moreno. Oh, my God.
But he did get hurt. He's in a walking boot, so we'll see what happens.
When did the injury occur?
Late in the game. Late in the game. His ankle got rolled up on. So he's day-to-day with a bruised ankle. That Ben Tate trade really didn't work out for me. It looks like I could have probably just got by with reserve players and hung on to AJ Green, but I was kind of forced into that trade just to make sure that I got the win this week.
Yeah, Vincent Jackson, man, he's such a hit or miss.
It's either 40 or 8.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got to keep him in there.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's the number one receiver, gets a ton of targets. So that was pretty much it. I mean, it was Brady and Moreno. All right. Here's a game for you. Dos Fekkas against Hammer Down. Hammer Down just staying alive. Staying alive. We buried him 2 weeks ago. 3-7. Thought the season was over. Now he's 5-7. He's right there.
Just got his head above water.
Yeah, just treading water, and he leaves Josh Gordon on the bench with 62.
He still gets the win, though.
He still gets the win. But for Dos Fekkas, it was ugly. It was ugly. It was nice to see that Kaepernick finally gave him a decent showing, but the rest of the team just kind of went to sleep on him.
8, 9.8,
7, 5, 8.
Jeez.
Yeah, when
That's the way it works, though. Once your quarterback hasn't done shit all year long, and he finally does something, and the rest of your team lays an egg.
Story of fantasy football.
Yeah. That's what happens.
Yeah. I really like Shane Vereen. Shane Vereen is a PPR monster.
Yeah.
So moving forward next year, I really like Shane Vereen. So we'll see what happens with Hammer Down. He needs a lot of help. Dos Fekkas needs a lot of help. First thing they both have to do is win next week. But, I mean, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But on the hammer downside, he continues to roll with Chris Johnson, which is, he's going to get you 15 a week. Andre Brown.
Witten, two touchdowns.
Yeah, so, maybe it's not over for hammer down just yet. But Dos Fekis needs a big performance this week just to make the playoffs. Next game up. Just Shoot Me against the Atlanta Blackcrackers. Even when Peyton struggles, he gets to win because he winds up playing the lowest score of the week.
Oh, I was sweating this one out. I was the biggest Anquan Bolden fan. He got 2 touchdowns. I was loving it. He was up by I think he was up 1 or 2 points.
And then Vernon Davis.
And they're like, don't give it to Vernon. And then throw him in touchdown pass. I was like, mother. They could have just handed it off to Gore. And that would have been great for me. But it was like a double-sided sword and stuff, right?
Yeah, so this game came right down to Monday night. It was, I think Just Shoot Me was down 8 or 10. So, they had a fighting chance. But with that loss, it effectively knocks them out of the playoffs at 4-8. So Just Shoot Me is done.
Blackcrackers clinches the division. Clinches a playoff berth.
Has not clinched the division, but has clinched a playoff berth.
Basically, he'll clinch division next week, no matter what happens.
No matter what happens, right? Just based on total points being the tiebreaker, at that point. But he got just enough production this week, and that's all that matters. And that's all that matters. Just Shoot Me just stinks. It looks like Dos Fekis production right there. A couple guys had decent games, and then the rest just went to bed on them.
What happened to Victor Cruz?
I don't know. I really didn't watch much of the Cowboys-Giants game, but I would imagine that the Cowboys probably double-covered Cruz the entire day. Because in Week 1, he had a massive game against the Cowboys.
Yeah, I guess.
So that's what happens there. And so we have our first funeral of the season. Just Shoot Me.
Is he the only one that's totally out of it?
He's totally out of it, cannot make the playoffs, can't make any more transactions. So that's it. That's it for Just Shoot Me. Thanks for coming out this season. And Atlanta Blackcrackers just continues to roll week to week. And you kind of feel for Just Shoot Me because when you see Peyton Manning with 150 yards passing, you think you're going to win. You know what I mean? That's a week you have to win. You have to win. He got 1 point out of Donald Brown.
120 points gets the win.
Yeah. That's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Moving on. El Canuto against double tight end set. Here was another nail biter that went into Monday Night Football. I think they were down about 26 or so going into Monday Night Football. And Alfred Morris, I don't know what happened there. They didn't try to run the ball. And when they did, it wasn't that effective at all.
Well, they had to get away from the run. They were running when they should have been passing.
Right.
I get the feeling that they don't trust RG throwing the ball anymore. Which I can't blame him because he looks like a freaking little kid out there trying to throw a bomb. He's missing targets by 15 yards.
I watched a little bit of this game. I saw Hulu was in early on passing downs on third down, so that definitely took away from Morris. But Pierre Garçon, just not a great night. 8 catches, but only 48 yards.
Yeah.
And that's you've double tight end set. This game was most likely going to be a playoff type of game because they were both 5-6 coming in. So now El Canuto has the tiebreaker over double tight end set.
Double tight end set really fell off.
Yeah, they were humming right along, and then all of a sudden, just it was just gross.
El Canuto got solid performance.
Yeah, solid performance up and down the board. A few single digits in there, but how about Maurice Jones-Drew? I saw the stat. Jones-Drew production has just risen every week from week 1. He hasn't dipped at all. So this past week he got 30 points for them. So I don't know if that can continue, but when you get a guy who underperformed so early in the season, comes down the stretch now and starts playing well, that's going to be tough to beat. Because the Jags are actually playing pretty well right now.
Yeah.
You got anything else on this game?
No, not really.
Nothing?
Yeah. Just focused on the playoffs. Playoffs ahead,
And the last game, was your game with your new playoffs logo. So, coming into this game, you were down 27.
I thought it was a lock. I thought it was like an absolute lock. I thought Gore was going to have 27.
So you were thinking, you were 99% sure you were going to win.
I would bet $500. I would bet $1,000 that I would have won that game. It just comes out and it's just like.
So let's tackle the Fleeners.
Awesome.
The Fleeners have a pretty good week. You know, they throw Matt Ryan in there on Thursday night. Has an okay game. Eddie Lacy just continues to be a monster. Reggie Bush is still steady production. Harry Douglas is clearly the number one wide receiver in Atlanta now.
Yeah.
With Roddy White just playing horrible. Like, if you watch that game, Matt Ryan doesn't even look at Roddy White that entire game. He's about the fourth option in that offense right now, which is crazy to think. But he starts Harry Douglas. Harry Douglas has some nice production.
So just a typical basic performance. Nothing special at all. Just got you got the job done.
Right. So now over here, you rolled with Jeffrey and Gore, and pretty much everybody on your bench outperformed them.
God, you know what it is? It's like you sit there and you just stare at your lineup, and you're like, God, I feel like I should do this, but I feel like I'm wrong.
Right.
I thought I didn't want to put Murray in there because he was playing the Giants. Giants stuff the run.
Right.
Keenan
They've been
Allen
playing great against the run.
Keenan Allen come off two semi-bad games, and that's what lost me really. Besides,
and with the
RG3.
win, Fleeners clinch not only a playoff berth, but they clinch at least the 2 seed. So they're guaranteed a bye now going into the playoffs.
They didn't win your division yet?
They clinched the division.
Oh, they clinched.
They clinched the division, so they automatically get the bye now.
Okay, I got
The
you.
division is all wrapped up. But for you, so we could talk about a lot of things here, but let's talk about RG3 here. We saw the posting that went up. The love affair is clearly over. I mean, what are you going to do here?
He's just so frustrated. He was so good last year before he got hurt.
Yeah. And there's so many articles out there that are calling for him he should be benched. So
that's why I was scared last night that they were going to bench him because he wasn't doing anything.
Right. So this week he plays the Giants. He's got a pretty good matchup. The Giants are so-so.
He's not.
If he underperforms in the first half, do they pull him? So can you start him, or do you got to go out?
I'm not starting him. I'm telling you right now, he's not starting.
Are you going to start Case Keenum?
I might. I'm going to think about it, see what's out there.
See what's out on the waiver wire. The Ryan Tannehill's out there.
Puts on more than 11 points. And what did Keenum put up? 9?
9. Matt's combined quarterbacks put up 20 points this week. That's pretty bad in this league. But so a couple questions coming in here.
There'll be a couple changes in the lineup.
Yeah. Now Frank Gore's production just has gone steadily down these past couple weeks. If it's me, I think you got to put him on the bench.
I'm thinking about
it. Maybe.
Who do they play next week?
I think they play St. Louis.
Oh God, I can't bench them against St. Louis.
St. Louis has been playing well though lately. Really? The defense has been playing well. But at the beginning of the year, DeMarco Murray, I remember because I played you, ran all over them.
He ran them for 175.
He ran all over them.
Gore ran them for like 150.
Yeah. So maybe you got to keep Gore in there, but these past couple weeks it's been absolutely nothing.
Le'Veon Bell's been pretty solid the past 4 games. He's not getting me extra like he's not giving me extraordinary numbers, but I'll take the 17s, 18s, 19s.
Right, because he's the only back actually there in Pittsburgh.
So, I mean, there'll be a couple changes. We'll see what happens.
All right.
I'm not worried, but this week is like a relaxed week for me. I know some of you guys need me to win or need me to lose or whatever, but it's not. I'm already in the playoffs, so this week is like whatever. Not that I'm not going to go out there and try to win.
Well, I guess the only thing that you're really playing for
is spots.
Is the 3 seed.
Yeah.
So with that being said,
that doesn't even really matter to me. I'm the 3 seed, so I play the 6. On the 4, I play the 5.
Right.
It don't matter.
Okay. So there are obviously weekly prizes of $20 for high score. So if you go into the standings, if anybody doesn't know, there's a column called weeks. And under that weeks column, it'll tell you how many high scores you had for the season. Black Crackers leads with 4. And everybody has, some people have 2, a couple people have 1, a couple people have none. So just remember that you will get paid $20 for a high score. And there are season-long prizes that end next week. So race for most points. Black Crackers is leading right now, and I think nobody's within 100 points. Or no, somebody's within 80. But most likely they're going to get the most points for the season, so that's a $50 prize. And the race for best record is on. So that's ABC. That's going to be between ABC and Fleeners. That's for $50. So even though they have both clinched a playoff spot, and Black Crackers most likely clinched the division along with the Fleeners, they are still battling out for another $50 prize. So when we look at the seedings right now,
So we have 3 clinched spots.
we
right?
have 3 clinched
we have 3
spots.
spots available.
Right. We got the Black Crackers, who are going to be. They're definitely either going to be the 1 or the 2, and the Fleeners are going to be the opposite of them. And then we got you right now clinched at the 3, and then me at the 4, Fresh Legs at 5, and El Canuto at 6. And those bottom 3 teams are all 6-6. But none of those teams can rest easy because the 3 teams behind them at 7, 8, and 9 are Double Tight End Set, Hammer Down, and Dos Fecas, all at 5 and 7. So effectively, you have 6 teams going for 3 spots.
Right.
So not everybody's going to get in
It's
here.
going to come down to points. It's going to come down.
Right. So, so for 4, 5, and 6, if any of them win, they're in.
Right.
If you're in 7, 8, and 9, obviously you need a win and some help to get in. The only great thing here is when I was looking at this, like I play double tight end set, whereas everybody else at 5 and 6 play somebody else outside of the hunt right now. So it's definitely going to be interesting this weekend to see who's actually going to get in. I was talking to Kev earlier today. Hammer Down needs to win, and I think he needs like 2 or 3 other teams to lose. Same thing for Dos Fecas.
Well, I think I play El Canuto this week.
Yes, you do.
Oh.
So when you sit down and look at this, there's probably, I don't know, when you multiply out the scenarios, there's probably got to be like 40 scenarios that could happen based on who wins and who loses and who's going to make the playoffs.
Right.
So I'm not going to sit here and go through all them. I'm just going to say if you're the 4, 5, or 6, if you win, you're in. That's it. It's not going to matter. And that's pretty much it.
Fresh Legs coming all the way back. We read him off, didn't we?
Yeah. At one point in the season, he was 1 and 4. He came all the way back to get to. What was he going into this week? 6 and 4.
No, that's 4 and 6.
6 and 5.
6 and 5.
And I beat him this week to make him 6 and 6.
I got you.
So I got the tie. But somebody like me, so I'm just going to take me right off the example because I've looked at this a bunch. I know no matter what happens with Fresh Legs, I'll always stay ahead of Fresh Legs because we'll have the same record, but I have the tiebreaker. But somebody like Dos Fecas, he beat me. So if I was to lose and he was to win, he would jump me. So it's all going to be on who wins and who loses this week coming up based on those single game tiebreakers. Because a lot of these teams are from opposite divisions,
Right.
and there was only one head-to-head game, whereas you can pretty much throw out the division record, and then it's just going to come down to the points. Got all that?
Got it.
You got all that?
Well, let's take a look at these games.
So let's take a look at these games. So because we're doing this so early in the week, if you go to live scoring, week 13 is not up yet.
Oh.
So we're going to have to go to the preview. So right now I'm a 15-point dog to Double Tight End Set. And he's got a lot of good matchups this week. He's got Tony Romo going against Oakland, Alfred Morris against the Giants, but like you said earlier,
Giant stuff to run.
Giants stuff to run right now. That ever elusive Danny Woodhead for me. And it's going to remain to be seen whether I can start Ben Tate. I'm sure if Julius Thomas plays, he's going to plug Julius Thomas in. He's got Adrian Peterson against the Bears. And the Bears can't stop anything right now. So we'll see.
What's double tight end sets rank right now? Are they right outside the box?
They're right outside. They're 7. They're at 5 and 6. And I'm at 6 and 6. So you got a prediction? What do you like about this game?
I feel like Tom Brady's back.
Yeah?
He looks like he's back.
Against a bad Houston team. With
Bad
nothing
Houston
to play
team.
for.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Well, This is no time not to pick against myself, so
Yeah.
obviously I'm going to pick me.
I'll pick you
Okay.
just because you're my partner.
Okay. All right. Not like a life partner or just like partner on the podcast. Okay.
Podcast partners.
Podcast partners. Hammer Down at Black Crackers. Right now, Hammer Down's the favorite going into this game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know
Does he
the line.
plug, obviously, he plugs, what's his name? Back
Josh
then?
Gordon?
Josh Gordon.
Does Josh Gordon? No, like right now, he's got Ray Rice in there. I mean, this is all possibly going to change. He has Josh Gordon in.
Yeah.
He's got Greg Olson, Chris Johnson. Forte is on the other side, but Forte might not even play. He hyperextended his knee. And the thing about Hammer Down here is that he has a lot of options on that bench. So this lineup could definitely change in the next couple weeks. Or in the next couple weeks, next couple days.
You know, I watched an interesting little tidbit on Peyton Manning the other night.
Yeah. He stinks in cold weather?
Stinks in cold weather.
And, well, right now, actually.
His touchdown to the interception ratio in cold weather was 10 to 11. 10 touchdowns to 11 interceptions.
Is that good? Well, I was listening to the radio this morning. It's projected to be 53 degrees in Kansas City on Sunday.
It's a beautiful football day.
It's a beautiful football day. And he had an okay game against the Chiefs the first time, but that game was in Denver. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I'm going to take Hammer Down.
I'm going to take Hammer Down here, too.
Yeah?
Yep.
Putting it all on.
That's all I did.
Wow. 2 weeks ago, we were planning his funeral arrangement.
Yeah.
Now?
Well, now you say Forte might not play. He only put up 120 points, 120 points last week. Going to go with the hot hand here.
Now, this game is obviously your game. You're projected to win by 8. And this game is obviously subject to change.
My whole lineup's going to change.
Right. So, obviously, you're not going to pick against yourself.
No, I'm not picking against myself.
So, you got Calvin Johnson on Thanksgiving. He's got Antonio Brown on Thanksgiving. So, that should be actually pretty interesting here. Who's going to outscore who in that game? But, since I need you to win, I'm going to pick you.
Okay.
But I could definitely see El Canuto winning this game. Again, he's got some options on the bench. It's going to be, who's he going to roll with here? Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this whole preview.
Yeah.
I'd like to be able to see the whole lineup without having to scroll. It's a real pain in the ass, people.
I wonder whose job it is to slide the ball a little bit this way. You know, when they got the edge.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's a program or something.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that's written in. Are you saying you would like to apply for that
Yeah,
job?
can I slide the ball back and forth, slight, moderate? No, let's put it between a little bit between slight and moderate. Let's get crazy with it.
Slaughter it?
Slaughter it.
Yeah, it can't be a might projection, but it could be a slaughter it projection. All right, and Tony Gonzalez is really going by the wayside here. But, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's projected to be a close game. I mean, I could definitely see El Canuto winning, but in my interest, I'll take NBE1.
I can also see me winning by 50.
Okay. Oh, all right.
Whatever. Yeah, anyway, I'll be sitting like this watching the game this week. Just relaxed, all sitting back comfortable.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about anything.
Whatever happens, happens.
Now, here's a game for you. I mean, is there any Just Shoot Me against Dos Fecas? I mean, Just Shoot Me is just
Dos Fecas needs to win.
Just
That's the bottom line.
decimated. Just decimated. You got to take Dos Fecas here. He's a 30-point favorite, and Just Shoot Me hasn't done anything in these past couple weeks.
Aaron Rodgers really.
And Aaron Rodgers is not playing this week, so he won't be back till week 14. So most likely he's going to put Nick Foles in at quarterback against that Arizona defense, which is playing pretty well right now. You got to think Welker breaks out of this funk at some point. So yeah, I'm going to go with Dos Fecas.
I'll go with Dos Fecas.
Yeah, Colin Kaepernick against the Rams
Yeah.
in the last game. This game, fresh legs against the Flaners.
With Tommy, you've got people on bye this week or something?
No, there's nobody on bye.
That's
Buys
just
are over.
That's just his total projections right
yeah,
now.
it's 112. That's what I was saying earlier. He's got a lot of guys banged up, a lot of guys hurt right now. And he's out of money, so he can't go pick anybody up.
I hate these projections anyway. I don't even know why I say it. They got Matt Ryan 5 points less than Drew Brees. That's just ridiculous.
You think Drew Brees goes for a lot more against that number one defense?
It doesn't matter who he plays. I think he likes playing against better defenses.
Yeah,
Just
well, we'll
carves them
see
up.
on Monday Night Football. So, so this game's going to stretch out over it's going to start with Eddie Lacy at 12:30 and end with Drew Brees on Monday Night Football at 8:40. This is going to be one of them long games. I hate those long games.
Yeah.
They just take way too long. I like all my players going on Sunday and it's over.
This
I don't like having
this
to
might
wait.
be my favorite week out of the entire year.
Really?
Short work week, even though I'm not working right now, but short work week.
You've had a short work week for the past fucking 7 weeks.
Yeah. But football all day Thursday.
Yeah. College basketball.
College
Feast
basketball.
week is coming up. So, I mean, with all the injuries on Fresh Legs side, I'm going to go with the Fleeners here. I'm going to go with the Fleeners.
Yeah, I think Tommy is. I think Fresh Legs is actually due for a loss, so I'm going to go Fleener also.
Off another loss that I just handed to him?
Oh, that's right. You did just beat him. Why didn't
Yeah. You better check your production
Yeah.
notes. This
you?
is
We're really slipping.
this is not so good. So that's it. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving. Get me your dues.
Peace out.
Peace out.